Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Truckers Podcast, FYI. I'm your host, Doug from Ontario, Canada. It is Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is a cold one out there today across southern Ontario. Minus 10 with a wind chill factor of about minus 16. So if you're heading out this morning, bundle up. Oh, by the way, there's no snow on the ground here in southern Ontario. Oh well, don't miss it. Don't want it anyways, and I don't know, maybe 3 weeks away from spring, which would be really nice. And of course, this being Saturday morning, the 24th, glad to be back out here. And yeah, dairy is scary. Almost sounds like a Halloween movie. So what are the facts? Where do we get our facts? Who's saying it's scary? Who's saying it's good for you? Well, the dairy industry saying it's good for you. Doctors, medical doctors, obviously. Dr. Neil Bedard, is one of my go-to doctors for factual information. If I want to find something out about different foods. Now you've probably heard, obviously you've heard that milk does the body good. Milk produces strong bones, helps you grow up, helps you grow. There's a study published in the archives of the Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine. It muscle rattled the dairy industry. Now they did all these studies. They tracked 6,712 adolescents, and the results showed that active children who consumed the largest quantity of the milk actually had more bone fracture than those who consumed less. Good morning. Thank you for joining me this fine morning here on the weekend. Finally, the weekend. Here on the Truckers Podcast, FYI. So, is dairy scary? Well, according to research by medical doctors in the studies at Harvard University, Dr. Neil Bedard is another, he's not just one, but of several medical doctors who does research, not just on dairy, but also he even talked about the carnivore diet as well. Same with other scientists, medical doctors. Now, when it comes to dairy, you've probably heard milk does the body good. Milk builds strong bones. Canada's health food guide, so the government in 2019 removed dairy from the Canada's health food guide. That put the dairy industry into a frenzy. But these studies, they're not done, they're not a 6-week study. They're not an 8-week study. These are decades of studies. So this study tracked fractures rates in 6,712 adolescents. And the results show that active children who consumed the largest quantities of milk actually had more bone fractures than those who consumed less. In other words, milk doesn't actually build strong bones. Previous studies shown similar studies in young women published in this journal, Bone of the Pediatrics, showed that bone density was bolstered by physical activity, but that increased calcium intake made no difference. And evidence suggests that milk is similarly unhelpful at the other end of the lifespan when osteoporosis and bone breaks are particularly common. Now, this other study followed more than 72,000 women for 18 years. Showed that no protective effect of increased milk consumption or fracture risk. These women who consumed the most milk were likely to suffer a hip fracture as those who avoided milk. I mean, how rough do you like to rough and tumble? So the milk build strong bones claim was not the first to collapse under scrutiny. And the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, they petitioned the Federal Trade Commission to examine this. There was a multi-million-dollar celebrity-filled ad campaign was based on the findings of a single Tennessee researcher who reported that a small number of people, dieters, who included milk in their low-calorie diet plans, lost more weight than dieters who left milk out. Other researchers were not able to replicate that finding. So in response, the Division of Advertising Practices met with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, who oversaw the campaign, and representatives of the National Food Milk Processor Prohibition Board and the National Dairy Promotion and Research Board, who agreed to discontinue all advertising and other marketing activities involving weight loss claims. And you wonder why. The truth about milk are more troubling. The studies disproving milk's benefits for bones and weight loss turned out to be the tip of the scientific iceberg. A Harvard study of 20,885 men showed men having 2.5 servings of dairy products daily had a 30% increase of prostate cancer compared to men consuming little to no dairy products. Another study in Harvard, this one including 47,871 men, has shown much the same thing. Men having 2 or more milk servings each day had a 60% increased risk of prostate cancer. And the studies also show concern to the public health officials is the load of fat in dairy products, saturated fat, sugar. You're drinking the cow's hormones. The pus in the milk. Here's something else that about dairy is scary. So these dairy cattle, they're artificially inseminated. when the calf is born, if it's a male calf, it's taken away and killed and used as veal. Keep the female calves. And the mother cow, I mean, it's not hooked up to the machines, well, 24/7. It's not 24/7 hours a day, but the lifespan of a cow, of a dairy cattle, is like 4 years. It's not put out to pasture to retire. It's killed. Just like your beef cattle. Beef, you got to kill the cow. Got to kill the cow to have beef. But we eat lots of beef, and we don't worry about that. We don't worry about killing the cow. But the cow, the baby calves, male baby calves, are taken away and killed. The fat and dairy products described are the source of saturated fat, the bad fat that leads to heart disease and other health problems. Dairy products turned out to be the biggest source. Typical cheeses are about 70% fat, much of which is saturated fat. Skimming fat from the milk leaves a drink loaded with sugar. Lactose sugar contributes to more than 55% of skim milk's calories, giving it a calorie load similar to soda. So here we go, with loaded with sugar, and then we take that milk and we pour it on the sugary cereals that we buy for your kids. And it amazes me how the cereal industry can get away with targeting children with all these sugary products, all these sugary cereals. We can't advertise tobacco towards children because it's unhealthy. Can't advertise alcohol towards children because it's unhealthy. But they can advertise unhealthy cereals that have no nutritional value whatsoever. And that's okay. I don't know how that's okay. Cow's milk consumption in toddlers is linked to type 1 diabetes and to other things like experience cramps and diarrhea due to lactose intolerance. Now here's something. The ethical and environmental impacts of dairy. And we don't really think about that neither. And of course, even beef cattle. A cow on a modern farm produce more than 20,000 pounds of milk per year. And to maintain maximal milk production, farmers, like I said, impregnate cows annually, inserting one arm into the cow's rectum while using the other to insert a long metal rod holding semen into the cow's vagina. male calves born through this process cannot join the dairy herd and are placed in crates and raised off as veal. So the male calves are taken away and killed. The 60,000 dairy farms in the United States also contribute methane, the product that remnant the digestion. Greenhouse gas is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. And the production of dairy products generates the third highest level of greenhouse gas emissions of commonly consumed foods. Healthy plant power calcium sources. Is an essential nutrient, but non-dairy source of calcium such as beans, tofu, broccoli, kale, collard greens, and non-dairy beverages provide adequate calcium without any of the health, ethical, or environmental detriments associated with milk consumption. So does the truth of milk surprise you? I watched a video. It was with Dr. Neil Bedard, questions and answers on that subject. And I'll get to that in a few seconds here. So that video that I watched, bring it up here in my favorite list. It is called Dairy is Unhealthy. Convince Me, Dr. Neil Bedard, and you can find that on YouTube. Just search Dr. Neil Bedard, and well, he's got all kinds of videos on there. He's got all kinds of books up there. Now, the 2019 So Health Canada's 2019 food guide sees more major changes from the 2017 version, with dairy basically scrapped entirely and a bigger focus on plant-based foods. Now, compared with the previous version, recommendations of the 4 full servings of milk, cheese, yogurt, and other dairy products. This means cutting it out entirely. Consuming dairy is linked to a wide range of health problems. Most commonly, lactose intolerance, which affects 65% of the world's population. Dairy is also linked to high cholesterol and high blood pressure, and studies have suggested that consuming it regularly puts people at a higher risk of developing cancers and diabetes across the nation. Plant-based options have also steadily becoming more mainstream. Even the favorite, the icon coffee shop, Tim Hortons, is the largest quick service chain, began offering soya milk in December of 2014, 10 years ago. And in February 2018, Health Canada proposed adding warning labels to products in high saturated fat, sodium, and sugars, which included dairy products. We have no problems putting health warnings and graphic images on cigarette packs. They wanted to put health warnings on alcohol, and the alcohol industry had a shit. Oh, that's going to hurt our business, going to hurt our bottom line if you put warnings labels on our alcohol. Now, the dairy industry maintains that its products are safe. They go on to say that farmers are threatened by Health Canada's guide. Not only will this harm the dairy sector and the hundreds of thousands who depend on it for their livelihood, it also risks harming Canadian consumers by creating confusion about the nutritional value of the dairy. What nutritional value of the dairy? High in saturated fat, high in sugar. Pus. Drinking the animal's hormones. Linked to cancers. Linked to diabetes. Where in the hell's the health value here? There isn't. So Health Canada maintains that its guide is the best interest of the public, for the public's health. Regular intake of plant-based foods, vegetables, fruit, whole grains, and these plant-based proteins have positive effects on health, which they obviously do. The guide advises consumers to eat a variety of plant-based foods, including beans and lentils, encourages drinking water instead of cow's milk. And this is not the first time the Canadian government has shown its support for plant-based proteins. It has invested $150 million in protein industries. Pulled all the support for dairy. So then what does dairy do? You've heard of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the National Hockey League team here in Ontario, in Toronto, obviously, sporting the emblem of milk on their jerseys. Got to pay for advertising somewhere, just put it on the hockey players. And no children watch hockey. And no kids play hockey. In my opinion, milk does not do the body good. Dairy is scary. You know, it's just like, you know, people going on that carnivore diet kick. Jordan Peterson, Michaela Peterson, his daughter, and others. Eating a steak for breakfast, eating a steak for lunch, and eating a steak for dinner, and nothing else. Claiming that with Jordan Peterson, you know, he's a clinical psychologist. Well, he doesn't practice or teach it anymore, but nonetheless, claimed that eating the carnivore diet cured his depression. His daughter Michaela Peterson, claimed that eating the carnivore diet cured her osteoporosis. Others out there claimed it cured their arthritis and other health issues that they are having. Well, if that's the case, then why do we need medication? If you have depression, then your doctor puts you on antidepressants. If you have high cholesterol, your doctor puts you on pills to lower your cholesterol. If the carnivore diet, lowers your saturated fat intake and improves heart health, as these people claim, then we don't need the pharmaceutical. It's ridiculous how much disinformation is spread about dairy products and meat products. Red meat is high in saturated fats, unhealthy fats. So is dairy. But the dairy industry, the meat industry, one of the articles I talked about the other day too, they're talking about, so okay, everybody's not just going to say, okay, you know what, everybody on the planet is going to become vegan. That's not going to happen, obviously. But if people, you eat what you want to eat. That's entirely up to you. Your health is on you. If you want to eat McDonald's 3 times a day, that's your business. This is not the one I was looking for. I'm supposed to be on that. Yeah, so when I was talking about that the other week, when I was talking about the carnivore diet, and I was reading an article, talking about red meat and processed meat linked to heart disease. And then studies showing, different studies showing they didn't find the same results. And then I thought, okay, well, somebody must be paying for those results. And of course, this study here, it was actually, it was done at the McMaster, Dalhousie University, McMaster University. And so this controversial meat study did not disclose the funding of where it was coming from. Then it was coming from an affiliated who also deals with the meat industry. And they get their funding from the meat industry, and they use this funding for this controversial study, which they failed to mention. So to study So the author of the study saying red meat is fine failed to disclose industry funding. So the industry, the meat industry, was funding that study from the Dalhousie McMaster University study on red meat. Just like the dairy industry. They're going to fund anybody who would do studies and conduct these studies and come up with the answers that they want to hear. That dairy is not scary. That dairy is healthy for you. But that's not the case. Dairy is scary. And then you say, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Almond milk is one choice. Unsweetened, no sugar. And lots of people are going that way, are going to the alternative, getting away from dairy altogether. But that's entirely up to you. You do what you want. It's your body. It's your health. I can't tell you what to do. It's like people are going to drink alcohol. People are going to smoke. People are going to do drugs. Excuse me. We have a always you're hearing about overdoses. Not just here across Canada, United States, all over Europe, all around the world. So everything we put into our bodies, I used to eat cookies all the time, chips all the time, all kinds of pastries, ice cream. Now, I'm not talking in moderation. I'm talking indulging. Of course, like everybody else, everybody's had their share of McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. Pizza. That sliced processed cheese that you put on your hamburger. That mozzarella cheese you have on your pizza. is dairy. That's where cheese comes from. It comes from milk. How many times do you eat pizza a week? When you order your burger at McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King and you got the sliced cheese on there. Even when it comes to salad dressings, you got to read the labels. You can make your own salad dressing at home, or you can just buy the balsamic vinaigrette. But all the other craft salad dressings and all that stuff there. Sugar comes to mind. My intake of sugar has dropped drastically over a few years because I'm not eating all those pastries and ice creams and cookies. I go to my local coffee shop, donut shop, Tim Hortons, and the glass case all full of donuts and bagels and muffins. Doesn't even faze me. I look at it, all I see is sugar. It doesn't faze me. People walk in there and they see sugar and they want it. They gotta have it. They gotta get that dozen donuts. They gotta have those bagels. They have to have, that breakfast sandwich. They gotta have all that stuff. I don't think you have to have anything. Even, coffee chains and stuff like that having their soups and their sandwiches. All their sandwiches are made with deli meats, which are not favorable or a health choice anyways. It's like Subway, highly processed foods, that lunch meat that you put in your kids' sandwiches every day to go to school. They got to eat something, right? You can't bring peanut butter. Allergic reactions to peanuts. Got to be careful. When I was a kid, that was unheard of. Like peanut butter or jam sandwich to school all the time. Growing up like everybody else did, on that meat and potato diet. Pizza was a treat. Once in a while. We had 8 kids, so we could have pizza every Friday night. Going out for dinner was a treat. Once in a while. There was no favoritisms. So if you're out with Dad and Dad's driving around the city doing errands, doing some shopping, and you want to go with them, and you see McDonald's, oh, there's McDonald's. And Dad would say, yeah, he'd drive right past it. He says, if I get you McDonald's, then I have to get everybody McDonald's. That's the way he was. And obviously I didn't get McDonald's because he'd have to bring McDonald's home for everybody. Kentucky Fried Chicken was a treat. once in a while. But then, of course, growing up, having that cereal, the meat and potato diet that father was raised on, his mother, her mother, generations down the line, people are changing. I think people are becoming more health conscious. I think people are reading up more about health choices, better health choices. What's available out there? What is the science saying? What are the doctors saying? Dr. Joel Fuhrman, Dr. Neil Bedard, just to name a couple. Research their books. You can buy their books on Amazon. You can get their books in bookstores. Eat to Beat Disease. Healthy nutritional facts. Quit smoking. And they always do these studies on alcohol. What's the safe consumption of alcohol? For males and females. How much is too much? How little should you drink? Research is showing that alcohol is linked to cancer. Obviously not good for the liver, fatty liver, cirrhosis of the liver. Obviously, it can be detrimental to our health. So how much alcohol is good? 0 alcohol is good. 0 tobacco is good. Even smoking marijuana. I don't know if you know this, but here in Canada, marijuana is legal. You can walk down the street and smoke a joint. You're allowed to have so much quantity on your person for personal use, not for dealing. Okay, still illegal to drug deal. Still illegal to sell marijuana outside of the controlled by the government. Going to the pot shop, which is regulated, by the way. You have to be 19 years of age to buy marijuana. Not from your drug dealer. But is that safe? What's in it? The THC. How much level is that in there? What is it doing to our bodies? What is it, Don't get me wrong. I mean, back in high school, I'm going back many years, I smoked pot. I haven't smoked it in years. Changing my diet is one thing. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, not bad. How are you?
I'm doing just fine on this fine Saturday morning here in southern Ontario, Canada. Whereabouts are you calling from?
I'm from Iran, and it's night. It's
Oh,
not night. It's evening. It's evening,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
just wanted to talk to people, and I was like, and I've got an application, but I was banned in that. You know why?
Why?
Um, I a couple of nights ago, I decided to, explore that, like voice rooms in order to get acquainted with people. But I entered a voice room and I saw three boys on the stage, and one of those boys started flirting with me, you know, in a bad way, he was starting moaning, can you believe it? And then um and then I just wanted to give him the taste of his own medicine. I just wanted to put him on his place, and I started saying just one word, just only one word, like offensive word, and then um and that application, like it was the name is Hello Talk, and Hello Talk banned me. It was just so sad, and I'm pissed off. It's so sad, and yeah. But anyways, I've been a bit bored, and I decided to check this application out in order to find someone to talk to. Yeah.
Yeah, so you saw the Truckers Podcast, FYI, and decided to listen in. I appreciate that. Listeners from all over the
So,
world.
sorry, I couldn't understand you. Sorry, could you just repeat that one more time?
Oh, I said that. So you're looking to, talk to people and listen to
Yeah,
different shows, like, yeah. So
yeah, yeah.
you decided to join the Truckers Podcast, and I said I appreciate that, and I have lots of
Hopefully,
listeners.
it's
And
not podcast. I
no,
mean,
my
yeah, because I mean, it was just a bit, secret, and hopefully, it's not podcast. Hopefully, I was
yeah,
not speaking in a podcast. Oh my god.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is a podcast, and it is live, and it's live
Oh
all over
my
the world.
god. No, don't do
Yes,
that.
yes, it
Don't.
is.
Just do not. Don't do that. Oh my god, that is insane. That's so insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, how old are you? Do you know me?
No,
Hmm. Where are you from? Like, originally from?
I'm from Canada.
Oh, Canada. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
North America.
Yeah, no. I know about your country.
Hmm.
I like it, and I've got. I mean, I've got a couple of relatives that they're leaving over. It's just so fantastic to leave. You know. I mean,
Uh-huh.
place and yeah.
Yeah. So what else is on your mind? I've been talking out here about. I talk about health and wellness. Today I was talking about the dairy industry. Last weekend I was talking about uh, the meat industry and the people doing these carnivore diets, um, that sort of
Okay.
things like that.
Are you
What's your
joking?
what's your take? Do you have a take? Do you have a take on on dairy? Do you have a take on that? Have you heard about the carnivore diet? That's
I
just
I un-
eating
I
meat and nothing else.
answer you. I'll answer you, but are you joking? Like, is that podcast or you're just speaking and it's not gonna be a podcast?
Oh, this is a podcast, and when I'm done with this
Okay,
show,
bye. Bye.
okay, bye.
I know that
I
you're
guess.
joking, but
No, I'm not
because of your
joking. The
joke, I'm
people.
gonna go
No,
because
no, the
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Oh my god.
the whole world is going to hear you. The people who are on my show right now, they're listening.
Mm, you're joking.
No,
You are a good
no, I'm not.
joker. You
Yeah,
are.
I'm a good joker, but this is live. It's
Okay,
8:30.
so
It's 9:22 a.m. right now here in Ontario, Canada. So this is live.
okay, and my voice is gonna um is I mean the radio is gonna get my voice in this morning in Canada. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Oh god. I mean, I'm not gonna get shocked because um
No,
I'm
of course
so
not.
unlucky, you know. I'm so unlucky and you know no wonder that you're gonna just make it a podcast, you know. I'm so unlucky.
Well, you're okay. Don't you worry. No, I do this once a week, sometimes twice a week. I'm trying to get back into doing it Saturdays. Like obviously Saturdays, I wasn't doing that for a while, but getting back to doing Saturday morning shows and of course my Sundays. Tomorrow, I do another
Hmm.
podcast. So
Yeah. Okay. So, how's life? I mean,
it's okay.
I can. On the contrary, I'm a big fan of podcasts. Can you believe it? I mean, I really like it, but the thing is that, uh, I really like to um be like a native speaker in English and then try to create a podcast. Not these days, because I'm just gonna improve my English language. That's it. Because the
Well,
first language that we speak is Farsi, and yeah, I'm gonna make a podcast in Farsi in my own language, but not in English,
sure.
because I've got lots of problem in this language, I can't even talk about like controversial topics, But if I could, I would definitely, create a podcast about whatever I want, but I can't do it, unfortunately. I mean, it's gonna be okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that um, it's a question of my knowledge in English, Yeah.
Your English is pretty good actually. So
Thank you. Not really. Not really.
yeah, really,
I mean,
yeah,
like
really, it is.
when no, not really, because when someone asks me about about politics and this kind of topics. Oh my god, the world ends, and I can't even talk about it. I can't. Yeah, like politics and religions, and
Yeah, they can that can be pretty tough when it comes to talking about politics and
yeah,
religion and death and taxes and stuff like that. That's kind of sort of the stuff that I you know
yeah.
venture away from. So but I do I have back in the past some
Mhm.
political things have taken place. I have mentioned them, but I haven't gone into great detail about them because it's the kind of thing that you know it can become very easily argumentative very quickly,
Yeah,
right? So that's
yeah,
kind of the stuff
exactly.
that I like to stay away from. It's not. I mean, it's good to have a, a discussion about it, but if you just we obviously we all have our different points and views about political things and what's going on around the
Hmm.
world too, right? With
Yeah,
religion and politics and stuff like that. So, I mean, everybody has their own opinion. So, but we just have to, we just, as people, I don't think that um, we just can't come to a reasonable agreement and it just becomes argumentative.
yeah, yeah. I really like to talk about it in order to improve my English, and then listen to other point of views about it. But when I just want to start talking about it, the first things that I want to talk about is, I'm living in another country. I mean, it's so far away from your own country and other native speakers in English, and they often okay. I'm not going to talk about you because you're just so a kind person, and as I can see, you're just so kind. But I'm talking about those that do a lot of snow, you know. When I just want to talk about them, they are like, okay, um, they're like, um, I'm talking about the application that I'm talking to people on, But they often think, oh, look at me, I'm so famous because I get lots of messages from people. I'm so famous. I'm so amazing. Look at me. I'm so perfect because I'm a native speaker, and I feel that I can't even I can't even have a conversation with them because they often think that they are better than others, and that can be so sad, because we're just people. It's not fame. You're not famous. You're just an normal people. You're not very special. The only thing that makes us special is a language. That's it. There's nothing. I mean, there's no difference between us. We're just people. We have to be kind. And and I was wondering, why are you behaving like that? That's just so sad. So sad.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, because people think that they know everything, they're better than everybody. They just, like to step on that they think who are the small people, stuff like that. But like what you're saying is that we all just are human, and we all need to get along, and we all need to treat each other with respect. But it's unfortunately that's not the way the
Yeah,
world is, and unfortunately we have bad people out there.
yeah,
But we can
yeah,
try. All we
exactly.
can try to do is good people like ourselves is pass on good vibes. Being kind to people, being respectful to people. Saying please and thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You're
But
a
we all want a
courteous
better.
person that you're behaving like that, but everyone is not gonna be like
Nope,
that, you know.
nope, they're not. Nope, it's not. So, um, my show is approximately an hour long,
Arrogant, I think, and
which
it's gonna be the name of your podcast, being arrogant. What do you say? What do you think of it?
yeah. Well, the the name of my show is obviously the Truckers Podcast, FYI, and just I like to talk about health and wellness and other things that are happening. You know, good like good topics. Try to stay on. I like to stay on the
Okay.
good side of things and positive side of things.
Okay. What kind of
I think I'm losing your
health you
connection
mean?
here.
I don't know what do.
Oh, when we're for like for overall health. I mean, for diet. Um, not
Oh,
smoking, not drinking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not eating all the unhealthy foods, and which we do.
Mm-hmm,
Everybody indulges in
mm-hmm. Yeah,
McDonald's and Burger King and
yeah.
eating cookies and chips and pizzas and on
And
a regular
yeah,
basis.
yeah. I know. And being obsessed with consuming lots of junk food and this kind of things. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. To be honest with you, okay. The first things that came to mind is um, do you have a good diet or you don't?
My diet has improved a lot over the last couple of years because I've cut out all the refined sugars, all the products that have all the refined sugars in it. Um, so yeah, I feel that I've improved um, uh, health wise,
Mm-hmm.
pretty good because I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that stuff. I mean, as earlier I was saying, I go to my favorite coffee donut shop, and
Mm-hmm.
the disponents in the display case just looks like sugar to me, and I don't want it. I don't crave it. Where
Yeah,
I used to crave it, but I don't anymore.
yeah.
So I can
Because
walk out. I can just walk out with my coffee, and I don't need a donut. I don't need a muffin. I don't need
I
cookies.
know I know what happened inside that you're behaving like that. You know what? Because part of you is like, okay, I used to eat that. I used to, I used to use that, but now, but yeah, and then, all of those moments that you said no to them can come to your mind, and and it makes you feel that I should say to that again, because of all of those moments that you could just refuse to try them, and that can be just so amazing, because um, I, I mean, I personally got used to. I mean, I used to eat lots of fast food, but it's been a 1 year that I didn't eat that a lot, because of my mental health, my body. I mean, I'm not gonna be just do it for my body, for the shape of my body, because um, uh, I mean, the only thing that matters for me is just um my health, not the shape of my body, you know. And I'm just so happy that I could say no to them, And still, when I just go into social media and I see lots of videos that they can, I will have a craving for it, but I'm like, okay, I can remember all of those moments that I had to say no to them. So why I should do that? Why I should do that again? It's gonna be just if I want to do that, I'm just gonna get used to it again, and that's so bad. And it means that I didn't do anything for it to improve it. If I just want to eat that once. And yeah, so that's why I'm just and now I feel just I feel very good about it, you know. I I could say no to it. I could reject her, you know. The feeling is just so satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's just, same thing, going to the grocery store. Um, and like, even when it comes to bread, I get it how expensive things have become. And of course, the really, I look at it this way is that they keep, the highly processed foods at a lower price than the healthy foods. It's like the unhealthy breads
Yeah.
and the healthy breads, and the healthy breads are more expensive than the unhealthy breads, like particularly white bread, right? It's probably the most unhealthiest bread that you can eat. And unfortunately, this is what people, you know, can afford to buy. And especially when you have a big family, maybe you have, 3 kids, maybe you have 4 children, so people are, people are just trying, to balance, you know, their health wise, and that's like I lost enemy girl, disconnected. Well, that's okay. I mean, she's probably still listening, but that's fine. Oh, she reconnected back. No, maybe she hasn't. I don't know what happened to her. So anyway, so yeah, just talking about that for a minute with the price of everything, you know, and then yeah, she says she's hearing. That's cool. So just the price of everything out there, you know. For instance, when getting on keeping on this dairy, you know, our milk here in Canada is more expensive than the milk in the United States by, so I guess she's going, yeah, by then, yeah. Delete it, please. Ah, you're fine. Yeah, that's okay. Be happy, smile. Thank you for coming on the show, by the way. Calling in and talk to me. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed that. So, hope you come back on. Oh, there she's connected again. I said, I hope you come back on my show again, because I'll be doing a show tomorrow
Oh,
morning. Tomorrow morning, Sunday, at 8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time.
I want you to stop it. Stop. Stop it.
Yeah. So this is my show, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh
for
my
today.
god. I say to stop it. You're still making laugh at me. Don't do
I'm
that.
not laughing. I'm not
You,
laughing
you,
at you.
you're making joke. You're a good joker,
Yeah.
but just don't do that. I'm gonna ruin your
Yeah.
podcast.
There you go.
Hey
There you
guys,
go.
don't listen to him. His podcast is not gonna be good at all. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, wait a minute. You're on the show, so it's got to be good.
I can be myself. I can
Of course,
teach
you can be
every single
yourself.
people that they are listening to this podcast to just be yourself. You can say whatever you want. I'm as a person that I'm on this podcast and I'm speaking and I can be the the voice of every single woman. I want to say you can be whatever you want to be. You can say whatever you want to say. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Can I use F words?
What word? Be who all you can be?
F word. F words.
No. Yeah, no, I try not
I
to.
told you
Sometimes
I'm
I
gonna
have.
ruin your podcast. I told you
I've
I'm gonna
used it
ruin
on
your
my.
podcast.
There you go. I've used foul language on my show before, but I don't generally try to. I try to, I do slip up every now and again, but it just happens. But other than that, but I have to get going because I got to get on with my day. I have errands to run. And who's going to listen to this podcast? Lots of people are going to listen to this podcast. People all over the world listen to my podcast. And I appreciate you coming on. It was a pleasure talking with Enemy Girl and how my listeners on the show today. If you can join me tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., that'd be great. If you can't, I understand. But until then, take care. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I was joking. I was completely
I know you're joking.
And
I know you're joking. I know that.
but
I
you're
appreciate you
just
coming on
so
my
funny. You're so
show.
funny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Everybody,
okay,
take
so
care.
have a nice time. It's rainy. It's raining over here, and I'm just gonna go under the rain, and have
Yeah.
have a quality time. So bye.
Okay. Bye now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and take care. This is